Good afternoon, New Orleans. It's attorney Russell Stegeman coming to you live from the studios of WBOK 1230 AM with another installment of our Ask Russell Stegeman legal show. We're taking on whatever legal justice issues that you may want to call in with. If you want to join our show, you can call us at 504-260-9265. For those of you with old-fashioned rotary dial phones, that's 260-WBOK. And it is okay to call. We'd love to hear from you if you have a question about anything. I mean, if you've been wanting to talk to an attorney, you know, I'm game. I've been at this little law thing now for about 30 years, and you know, as an attorney, sometimes, you know, if you we think too much, and if you know, it's a little bit, you know, here we are. You can ask me anything, and I gotta give it to you right over the air, you know, and so test us out. Call us up with your issues. If you've had an experience with law enforcement or the court system that you want to share with the community, this is how we make things better. This is how our community grows and becomes stronger. This is how the justice system and law and fairness get spread around in our community, is when people actually participate and speak out and make their voice heard. And so that's really what what we want to do with our show. And we've got some great listeners out there. Many of them, sort of coming to be counted just about every week. And I also want to thank all of those listeners that do participate in the show and that tune us in and hear what we have to say every week, because we've been here at WBOK now for over a year, and really enjoying bringing these issues and spotlighting these issues for the people of New Orleans, and helping the community hear some of the things it needs to hear, and also kind of keeping our pulse on things. There's been a lot of interesting matters come up, and so we're here for you, you know. And of course, sometimes people have got in the law area things get sometimes personal or in depth or embarrassing, and I definitely welcome your calls. If you need to reach me after the show, you can call my office at 504-368-0123. I always tell you to put that number into your cell phone, because you never know when you might need to call attorney Russell Stegeman. And you can also, I've got my private cell phone number is 504-782-3969. Put that number in your phone right now. Had a call from a BOK listener this week. You know, his wife, I'm not going to mention any names, but his wife was arrested unexpectedly. You know, these are nice, law-abiding people, but every once in a while, you get mixed up in in the wrong place at the wrong time, and DWI, and I wasn't able to actually take the call. It came in at about 4 o'clock in the morning, but first thing I got up, 6 o'clock in the morning. We're there for you. I want you to know that. I personally feel the staff and the management of WBOK has made this show possible. And I feel like my listeners are definitely, they're my tribe. So, if you get in a jam, you need to talk to an attorney, now's the time to put that number into your phone. It's 504-368-0123, and my personal cell phone is 504-782-3969. You don't have to worry about incurring any legal fees or anything. If any money's got to change hands, but we'll talk about that. But any listener of WBOK that needs to talk to an attorney privately, a free consultation, or you're just, the man is right there and you need some advice quick, you can get me. And they're telling me one more time to do it slower, okay? So we're going to get into speed and things that slow you down. So we're going to say 368-0123 and 782-3969. I've got such a great engineer, she's over there smiling, and they got this great stuff where that comes through and you can kind of read it. It kind of keeps me straight. I'm missing my usual co-host. Carmen Afaro is not with us today. Her son, Cal, she has a a little boy, and he was not well today. So Carmen had to be a good mama and stay home with him. And so I'm kind of, going it alone. But I am joined by a very special guest today, former manager of the Raw Shops, Tim Gates. Welcome to the show, Tim.
Hello, folks. How's it going? Happy to be here today.
And for those of you who are not familiar with the Raw Shops, there are other shops like them around. It's almost become a term of art when they say, like, make me a Xerox. Oh, I love it. Oh, yeah. That is...
Yeah.
Okay, so the generic, it's really not a generic term, the Raw Shops. The Raw Shops is actually some stores. Tell our listeners about who don't know what the Raw Shop is, what that's about.
Well, there has been a little mention of these places in the news recently. Ra means head. So head shops.
Oh, I thought it was like the sun god.
Right, it is as well, but it's got a dual meaning there.
Okay.
So they are referred to as head shops. Basically, they're tobacco galleries. They sell all forms of tobacco products, tobacco pipes.
You have tobacco addicts coming in there looking for a fix?
All the time, yes.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the main business there is the tobacco business.
And do they sort of, like some people think like the Raw Shops sort of try to sell things that people use they're like against the law, but without making it look like they're selling stuff to help people to break laws related to smoking things that the law enforcement does not want people to smoke?
Well, see, this is an interesting point because working there, there's a very specific issue with terminology.
Okay.
All right. So you cannot mention marijuana in the store, although the glass tobacco pipes that are sold have stickers that say for tobacco use only. And there is the threat of incrimination, which I'm not really sure I understand, and maybe as a lawyer you can answer that from the legal end.
Okay, but they're coming in there to buy the glass pipes to smoke pot, right?
Well, that's what you would assume.
I mean, in other words, say in popular folklore, people think that people go into the Raw Shop to buy stuff like, for smoking marijuana.
Correct. Correct, but
the Raw Shop owners are very
image.
Sensitive to that, right?
Yes, it's a public image thing, and I was always at a loss to understand how the freedom of speech is suspended whenever you walk into one of these stores and you can't mention the word marijuana or you'll get kicked out. Whereas, the connotation there is that if you mention marijuana and you buy a pipe, then all of a sudden that makes the pipe paraphernalia. Now, if I go to Walgreens and buy a box of tampons and roll a joint out of tampon paper, does that not make the tampon paper paraphernalia?
Absolutely. You're going down,
right.
Because you're right. It's got to do with intent, and there is, I don't know how widely known that is. As an attorney, it's obvious to me that there is a law, the possession of drug paraphernalia, meaning stuff used to help deliver the drug, to use the drug, a pill bottle. It can be paraphernalia if it's used to carry illegal pills.
Exactly.
So, in this law, for a long time, has been considered to be on the verge of being unconstitutional. It's actually the ability, because of this fact that it's kind of like a hammer. A hammer is a useful tool, and it's also a deadly weapon. So which one it is kind of depends on the circumstances.
Sure.
I know that this isn't in the case in Orleans and Jefferson, but in St. Tammany Parish for rolling papers, cigarette rolling papers, there is a $1 a pack tax.
Right.
And papers are just outrageously expensive if you happen to go into that parish. And they say, I've heard from the other end, the law enforcement folks, that they actually kind of use that tax not as a great way of making money, but it does kind of alert them when a whole lot of dope hits the streets. The tax receipts go up so they know that somebody
There's a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And they can tell where it hit. Did it hit in Slidell? And they actually say they can see the comings and goings of large dope shipments, at least in the marijuana stuff, through this tax on cigarette paper. So is it